Welcome, everybody, to today's Catalyit Live Hot Topic. From raw data to real insight, modernizing loss runs and claims analysis. We're excited to have you all here. I'm Scott Wingo, Catalyit's webinar producer, and I'll be your host for today's session. Today, we are joined by two experts from the Loss Run Pro team, Amelia Alford, Senior Vice President of Revenue Operations and Performance, who works closely with agencies to improve how they manage, structure, and leverage claims data to drive better business outcomes, and Jaden Griggs, lead sales executive at Loss Run Pro, who partners with agencies to help modernize workflows and turn complex data challenges into more efficient, scalable processes. Amelia and Jaden, thank you guys. We are glad to have both of you here today. So, for many agencies, loss run and claims data is one of the most important and one of the most frustrating parts of the business. Data comes in from multiple carriers, formats are inconsistent, and teams often spend hours, sometimes days, cleaning, reconciling, and trying to make sense of it all. The problem is when data is fragmented and inconsistent, it limits your ability to truly assess risk, support underwriting decisions, and provide a strategic guidance to your client and your team. So, before we get started, just a few quick notes. You're going to please enter your questions into the Q&A section at any time. We'll pause at key moments and save time at the end for any additional Q&A. Feel free to use the chat for comments or technical issues. I'll be monitoring that throughout the session as well. And the replay, as always, will be available within 24 hours inside Catalyit's on-demand video vault at catalyit.com. So you'll be able to rewatch it, share it with your team. With that, Amelia and Jaden, thank you both for being here again. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and I'll stop my share.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks, Scott, for having us. We'll run through the basics of how we do it, how we utilize that data. But most importantly, obviously, everyone knows us for requesting loss runs. That's what's been our bread and butter over the last couple of years. We've seen the need, though, come up where, oh, it's like someone's not able to hear us, but let's Scott. So what we've noticed over the years is that once you do get the loss runs back, they come in PDFs, Excels, emails, all different kinds of formats, which makes it very hard to actually then utilize that data. So we took that next step of how can we help agencies even further in this whole loss run process. And that's where we've created all of that data ingestion within here now that I'll share my screen and we'll walk through the basics of that. Make sure this shares here. Okay, perfect. So within our portal now, obviously the same requesting abilities that you do have, but now for that data ingestion, it's going to fall under this document uploads portion, where essentially what we allow you to do, they can be requests that have been done within our platform, or they can be loss runs you have received outside of the platform. It doesn't matter really where you get them, but you have the ability to come into what we call an insured. So you can create their profiles within our system, and then you can list out their different carriers that they actually have. You can also add in additional documents, whatever it may be. And then what does happen? So once you do submit loss runs, you can submit them for what we call cleaning, which is the data ingestion. And when you submit that, it typically takes about 24 hours. We do have the ability to do it instantly. However, we have found, obviously, that AI hallucinates and can make mistakes. So what we're doing now is we do keep a human in the loop. So not only are you getting the AI to ingest the data, you also have a human actually making sure that the data is accurate so it reflects correctly, whether you guys are doing risk analysis, loss summaries, whatever it may be. So once they are submitted for cleaning, this is actually the type of document that you're going to get returned. Obviously, this is test data, but it's really going to take every single piece of data and put it into a standardized format so this data can actually be used. We have seen that there's about 67 different headers on all loss runs, and that's where obviously that data pulls. But obviously, carriers also don't include all the information on every loss run. Each carrier is different, every format is different. So we have also given you the ability that once this data does come in here, you can actually mark within our system, hey, there's certain KPIs we want to see every single time. We want to know total incurred. We want to know claim date, whatever it may be. So you can actually set settings in here that will show you this raw data that came from the document uploads, then transferred over to this claims portion, that these fields can be in here and you can actually have them highlighted in red. So if an account manager comes in here and you're like, hey, this is our certain set KPI and we are missing this data before we can show you the full charting, the loss analysis, risk analysis, all of that, they actually have to include that data in there. So it won't be lumped in. We also know that a lot of other data ingestion, there might be a claim that's been hanging on for 4 months. It's going to reflect each month on that loss run. So we'll actually only take it one time so that data is correct and you're not seeing an inflated claim on there. But what this data then does is it comes into this claims explorer. And this is really the bread and butter of what you can look like and see the data in a real kind of actionizable way. So it'll give you like claim frequencies, you can see average loss ratios, but even better is you can actually filter it. So maybe you have a client that's coming in to do a risk management type of meeting. You can filter by that certain insured. You can see all of this data based on theirs, or you can see a line of business, or even better with a carrier. Maybe, for example, we're saying travelers, right? You write a ton of business with travelers. You want to present this to them and say, hey, I want to maybe earn another point. Or you have that kind of behind you and that backing to see what your book of business looks like. We see most agencies obviously use this for their controlled book of business to really get a good overview of what they're doing. But then it's also a good indicator, like if you have some producers and you want to see on their new business and their leads, what kind of business are they bringing in? Is it worth it? Are they bringing in kind of high risk insureds? So it can give you a real overview on that data as well. But then it's also going to allow you to come into this claims reporting. You can actually see different trends. We can customize any of this reporting too. So if there were certain trends that you wanted to see, we can code this so that it does show what you want. But then it's also always going to give you that raw data down here so you can see how these are actually getting in here and what they do look like. But the raw data as well as your actual loss runs that do come back, we all will allow you to download those. So you do get both formats. You can submit it to your underwriters that way too. So they already have kind of two pieces of different information that's easier to analyze. But that's what we've seen and how different agencies so far are using the data ingestion.
All right. Thank you, Amelia. We don't have any questions right now. Oh, wait, we just had one pop up. Did I hear you say that you can now run loss run requests? If so, method, email, required to carriers, API, etc.
Yes. So that's our bread and butter. So our signed authorization here, that's new business requests, prospects, anything you don't control. Agent of records for your controlled book of business where you can schedule all those out. And those are just a set it and forget it tool. We do have full API access. So all of this data as well can be transmitted back to an AMS. We can attach whether it's the loss runs as well as the data. And we do now also have a direct integration with AMS 360.
Is that the only direct integration you have, Amelia?
We AMS 360 and Epic, and
Okay.
then Nexture and Hawksoft are
Hmm.
in the pipelines. But if a lot of we've noticed they've built their AMSs or CRMs on their own as well, so that full API that we do have can connect in anywhere.
Okay. Awesome. And as far as moving forward, kind of like a roadmap, obviously you guys, you just said you're working with Hawksoft and others, but if someone does come in with a system you never heard of, obviously you guys are open to seeing what can be done now or in the future.
Absolutely. Yep. And we have some different packages in terms of that now. We see a lot of agencies that don't have a lot of tech resources. So that is an option for us that we can actually code it for you if you do have something kind of outside of those big players and the AMS systems.
Okay, awesome. And do you know if you guys work with Zapier with the open API or do you have an app
We
on
do.
there?
Yep.
Okay.
We do. And yeah, we have a lot of agencies that do use it that way too.
I've specifically seen that with you guys within Zapier's system. Awesome. If an agency was wanting to jump on with you guys, what's the quick process look like? That first couple days, 30 days, how do you guys jump in the system and how fast can they get operating?
Yeah, so they can get in there if they go online and sign up, they get instant access lead to our platform like right away. So they can get in there requesting. The data ingestion is something we like to talk about, see what your needs are. How we kind of price that is based on per pages. So we do like to communicate, see what your needs are, what you're looking to do. And typically in terms of the pages to get going and stuff, again, it's an instant turn on, but it ranges from about 20 cents to 40 cents a page.
What's the fastest ROI you guys are seeing from your agencies that you work with every day? What's that, I guess, jumping in and seeing what their process is, obviously, and then going from there and helping them speed that up. Is essentially just time? Is that the biggest maker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so our one of our first agencies that came on with this, they had a team of 5 people that were manually typing all of that data into an Excel spreadsheet, and that was their job 2 days out
Oh
of the week
wow.
for the entire day. So It really you have 24 hours. Again, we can do it quicker if you don't want that human in the loop, but you don't have to do anything. You know it's accurate data and it's already there, and you don't have to pay for somebody's hours. They can be do something that's much more revenue generating versus typing an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, what's the first, and it has to deal with that same question, but when you do get on with a new agent or new agency that's jumping on, what's one sign that their current loss run process is holding them back more than they realize, other than I guess just the manual? I guess that would be it, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
multiple ways. A lot of times too, they're not even an agency owner might not be realizing how many different quoting that producer is doing that they're not winning, right? The loss runs took a month and they're like, okay, I'm done with it. Let's move on. The insured's ready to move on. So
Hmm.
in our case, if you don't have those loss runs within 10 days, like we'll step in, we'll get those loss runs for you. So it really just shortens up the submission cycle, the quoting cycle, all of that. And the typical kind of ROI that we have seen on that is it's going to reduce it by about 85%.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know I've seen you guys before, either whether on your website or just that you guys put out, just quote more, win more, and that's what you're referencing,
Exactly.
right? Is getting it
Exactly.
through. So with our short attention span these days, nobody's going to wait, unfortunately, for days on end.
Yes.
They're going to jump on to something else. But okay, awesome. So for agencies listening today, what's one sign that their current, oh, I'm sorry, I already hit you with that one. So what should leadership be asking their teams right now about claims data renewals and reporting before they jump on with you guys? Do you want
Yeah.
them to have an idea or a process? Hey, this is exactly what we're doing. And then, hey, Lost Run Pro team, what can we do from here?
Yes, exactly. Because we've noticed everybody uses it in a different way, right? Everyone
Hmm.
has their own workflow. They're using data for different things, whether it be for their carrier partners, whether it be to just provide better risk management for their insureds, but then also just evaluating their book and their producers and what business they are truly bringing in. So that's a good first starting point is like, where do you see this fitting in your workflow as the most important thing? And then where can we expand it from there to just help you overall, whether it's risk summaries, analysis, customer meetings, all of that.
Okay, awesome. What are common misconceptions agencies might have before they adopt a system like Lost Run Pro? If they have cold feet, or they're just nervous about bringing on another solution provider, because let's face it, there's so many, and it is monthly charges for everything they bring on to try to get everything to work, to quote more, to win more, to make more money for the agency. What is something that you guys see, or is there any that someone comes on and they're playing devil's advocate and they're asking questions about, yeah, what would might hold them back from jumping on with you guys?
Yeah, the biggest thing that we really do see is that they do it themselves. That's
Okay.
our biggest feedback. We do it ourselves. Okay, so that's where we look back and say, okay, but if there is one person or a team that is doing this, how much time are they truly spending on this? Because the average request emails being sent is going to, on one line of business for one insured, is going to just take 15 to 30 minutes in general. We're generating the request in our system is going to take about 2 minutes. So it's really where can that person or just that workflow be improved, and so that's what when they do push back on that, that why will we just do it ourselves? We have the follow-up, we have the carrier relationships, we have all of that. So it's just an overall better access. And if you're writing commercial, you need loss runs.
Awesome. And I'm glad you mentioned the carrier relationships. I know, I think that you may have had a number and you may have even mentioned it, but what does that look like? How big of a library, how big of access do you have to all those carrier relationships?
Yeah, so we have every national carrier in our database. The only ones we don't have may be like some smaller regional carriers. But again, because we're so fluid in these relationships, we can easily add them to our list and have them in there in about 10 minutes.
Okay. And I want to jump ship to, I know you talked about obviously AI inside of your system and how it's reading those documents and how it improves itself. Is it, as far as security goes, obviously all this data is going to be coming in and out.
Yep.
What's that look like for you guys?
Yep. So we're fully SOC 2 compliant. We keep
Perfect.
all of that data. People do ask us quite often, what if we're quoting the same insured? Are they going to see that? No.
Hmm.
Anything you put into the system stays with you. It is your data. And we do take that very seriously because this is sensitive data, as well as it's a competitive marketplace. We know that in commercial insurance. So we want that to be fair for every single agency that uses us.
I know that's everyone's big concern with, especially as fast as AI is moving these days and how it's breaking and changing. And it's just, and we all know from playing with, and of course, I like to build bots, and you can throw something in one of the big AI things, tell it to read something, and I just do it to test it. And sometimes it's wrong. It's not, and it's
Yes.
not always right. It's not to that point yet, but
And that's why we've implemented that human in the loop as well to
Yes.
double check the data. Obviously, a lot of companies were coming out just doing data ingestion, right? Not the loss runs. And a lot did try to partner with us as well because they need loss runs. And we do over 1.5 million loss runs a quarter. So we've
Right.
had actually this model that we've been training for over 3 years now. So anything that goes in there, it can read. There are no formats from carriers, all of that. But then again, still it's AI. So that's why we keep that human to make sure that data is accurate.
Could you give us a kind of more specific example of how the direct integrations, how some of your clients are using those direct integrations?
Absolutely. Yep. So the biggest one, obviously, with AMS 362 is right now you can import through a spreadsheet, you can manually enter.
Hmm.
With the integration, it really takes no more than 10 minutes. We ask for certain things like an application key, stuff like that. You put it in yourself. We actually don't even see that. So that security is all yours.
Hmm.
Once you go live in there, you'll start to see all of your insureds come into the system. You'll see all of their premium, their policy information, all of that. But then what it can also do is once that data is in the system, the AMS is the source of truth. It will sync it every night. It will update any information in there. It will flag you to certain things that have been pulled over. But then rules can also be set. I don't want to pull my personal lines insureds in there. I only want my commercial or I only want this size of business.
Oh,
So you
nice.
have some flexibility too on actually what data you want to pull in. We will be coming out with a version 2 that will then actually allow you to create activities and tasks within your AMS too.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Okay, I had another question for you. As far as service, a lot of questions we have when people do reach out to Catalyt is, hey, obviously, what's it going to do for me? How's it going to operate? Is it going to save me money? But if someone's struggling, are they when they sign up with Lost Run Pro, do they get a specific service team member, an advisor that they can always reach out to if they have some edge cases that didn't work out for them, or if they're struggling with actually using the system? Because it sounds pretty simple to use.
Yep.
We
Things come up,
everyone's
obviously.
level of technology is different, how
Yep.
they handle it and operate it. But yeah, so what does the service side look like for you guys?
Yeah, so we're actually all in office. We're in Missoula, Montana. And so we do have a full service team, but even in sales and all that, we jump in as well. So you always have your first person that you dealt with can always help you. But again, you can always pick up the phone and call us, send us an email, and we are always happy to help. We also do onboardings or trainings every single day of the week, whether you need a personalized like 30-minute one or we do full hour onboardings too. Has more people on them, but they really go over the everything that you can do within the system.
Okay. And I know you may have mentioned it, or I may have just looked at it myself, but you have is it per seat basis as far as how you guys charge the agencies? Is that accurate?
It is. Yep. It is a per seat basis. We do have some enterprise pricing, different things like that. It is generally $29 a month per user or 300 per user for the year. Again, with integrations too, there is a little bit of an extra cost. It only raises it to $39 a month per user or 400 for the year. So you still get all of that, whatever you had, the requesting the data ingestion plus the integration for the small cost. There's no
Okay.
contract with us at all either.
When you say the integration, are you referencing if they're using one of those direct partners that you guys have
Correct.
already set up? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. And what if it is one of the ones where you got to go through Zapier? Is there going to be a charge for that as well, or do you guys just offer
Yep.
the API?
Yep, we'll offer the API. If you need help coding or you need our dev team to actually do stuff for you, then there is additional charge. But in terms of that, no.
Okay. As far as and kind of build off that, as far as sizes of agencies, do you have it across the board for your clients?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned
Yep.
enterprise account, obviously could be a lot of bodies, but I'm sure you have some smaller agencies too using you guys as well
We
and
do.
seeing the
We
same
have single
return.
agents that are just, there's one producer, they don't have an account manager, they need help. So they're using it. And then we do have, I think it's about 45 of the top 100 agencies that use us as well.
Oh, good. Okay. So we've gone through onboarding, we've gone through service. Jaden or Amelia, if you guys had anything else as far as why Lost Run Pro, I know you've touched a lot of points on why, but if you were just to give a quick shout out or a quick spiel on why, of course, the time saving, the ROI, but are you the only guys out there doing this? That's
In
this at
terms of
this
the
level.
requesting the data
Yes.
ingestion. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you could give again just a quick shout out of I Lost Run Pro, if you wanted to put it in a high
Yeah,
level bubble.
yeah, absolutely. It's just we see it as if you're writing commercial insurance, it's a no-brainer. You need loss runs. We know that's going to come up regardless. We also know there's a lot of agents that don't like to share loss runs, or also you want to provide better customer service for your insured. I can't tell you how many times agents tell us we just ask our insured. I know personally, if I was going to an agent and they told me you have to go get it, I probably wouldn't use them. So you're also
Right.
just white gloving and then giving them a way better experience that's, hey, you're going to get an email, you're going to sign it, and then we're going to have loss runs back so we can get a quote, a solid quote for you. But then also, I'm going to give you a whole overview of what I think your risk looks like. Do I think you're going to get renewed? So all of that, it makes it such a better customer experience for your insureds on that end too.
Awesome. And we did have a question pop up that I missed. So I'm going to go ahead and ask that, Amelia.
Yeah.
So, any roadmap to use of API, specifically AMS 360, to automatically run loss run requests based upon a date range?
So, actually, starting on April 1st, we will
Oh,
have
there we
something
go.
coming out called our automations. This will be for controlled business because obviously, if it's a prospect, you're not really scheduling those, right? It's a in the moment need. We are launching integrate or automation starting April 1st. This is going to allow you to basically select rules in there where you can be like, hey, on this size of book of business within here, I want to request these always every 90 days on this line
Hmm.
of business, on this size of premium. And then that way you don't have to go into each one and choose the schedule that you want. The system will then go into your account every night, checking for those dates and then requesting them out. It will also give you a buffer window that if you have two policies, say they're 10 days apart, there's really no need to request two different times. So it will lump those together, pull all of those in there. So that is coming on April 1st.
Awesome. Perfect question there.
Yeah.
All right. Again, Amelia, thank you. Thank you guys for joining us today. I love how simple the solution is, and it speaks for itself. It's in the name, Loss Run Pro.
Yes.
Right. And it's going to save your clients, your current agencies, and any future ones plenty of time and, of course, money. And get the quotes in, get them out, and win quotes. So, Amelia and Jaden, again, thank you both for, especially Amelia, thank you for that practical and insightful session. It's clear when agencies can transform fragmented claims data into structured, reliable insight, it doesn't just improve their internal efficiency, it's going to fundamentally strengthen their underwriting decisions, client conversations, and long term strategy. And of course, thank you to everyone who joined us today and who also will be watching this later. We know how busy your agencies and your teams are, and we truly appreciate you spending part of your afternoon with us. And as a reminder, today's recording will be available within 24 hours inside Catalyt's On Demand Video Vault. So feel free to rewatch it, share it with others on your team. And before you leave, please take a moment to complete our short 3-question survey. Your feedback helps us shape future Catalyt Live sessions, and you can also indicate if you'd like to be connected directly with the Lost Run Pro team. And Amelia, is that a good contact? I got that from you guys off
Yes.
of your info. Okay.
Yep.
Info at thelostRunPro.com. I got it on the screen there. And of course, go to their website, reach out directly. And you can find more information about Lost Run Pro Team also on Catalyt, on our Catalyt.com site. If there's anything else that we can do on Catalyt's side for you or to support your agency, do not hesitate to reach out to us at any time at hello@Catalyt.com or jump on our website, jump on our live chat. And thanks again, Amelia. Thanks again, Jaden. Thanks again. We value the Lost Run Pro team's relationship with us. And we hope to see you at another Catalyt Live session very soon. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.